Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Duchess Lilitu, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so, as we go into the index, Duchess is going to be a demon spawn, a legendary spirit affinity towards the right, the support champion right here. Now remember, as always, down in the pinned comment, I will have a link to the infographic where you can catch all the general information about Duchess and the Duchess that you will see in the video. But take note of, on the bottom, the disclaimer about the Masteries. These are going to be more of an arena-minded build, so keep that in mind as you're building your Duchess. You don't want to blindly copy stuff that you see on websites or videos and stuff. You always want to build it according to the champion on your account and what you are using it for. But let's get that put away and talk about Duchess here. So I actually meant to do this a long time ago, and I'm disappointed that I didn't. It fell through the cracks in terms of projects that I wanted to do. I was super excited when I pulled Duchess. I appreciate you letting me pull your sacreds. I would never do this, but Sean, I'm gonna yeet one in your honor. I'm gonna yeet one in your honor. We're gonna pour one out for you. I'm gonna yeet one in your honor. Oh my god! What? What? No way. Because she is one of the most famous champions in Raid, an amazing champion in many different areas of the game, and it's time to get some content out there about her so I can add it to my tier list for sure. So in terms of the base stat analysis, really great, amazing base stats. We've got really good HP of 22.4k. The attack is completely irrelevant. It might as well be 1. It doesn't matter what it is. Some people are like, oh, the attack is super low. It does not matter on a champion like Duchess. The base defense of almost 1300, pretty solid to go along with that HP. Makes her a very sturdy champion stat-wise. Base speed of 103 is great. Crit rate, crit damage, not a huge deal. She's not really a damage dealer. She's more of a support utility champion. And then a base resistance of 50 is great. She does not need any accuracy, so the 0 accuracy does not really hurt her. And then in terms of the kit, we will dive into the A1. Now, it's going to be attack one enemy 2 times, then place a shield buff equal to 10% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns on this champion and the ally with the lowest HP. So we've got some guaranteed value on to the Duchess to make her super sturdy, and then it's also targeted value on the ally with the lowest HP to help them sustain. Her damage scales with defense, and then you guys love to know the multipliers, I know. So this is her only damage dealing ability, and it is a 1.7 times defense. And you can see that on the graphic towards the top left of the graphic there. You'll see the 1.7 times 2. So it's not a horrible multiplier. It's basically a 3.4 because it is a multi-hitter, but we're not really going to be building Duchess for damage. Then on the A2, we've got places a 50% increased attack buff and a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns, and place a perfect veil on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. So it's going to let her soak up and absorb some of the heat from the enemy team and keep some of your damage dealers alive. And she also places the increased attack to make your damage dealers do more damage if you bring ones that scale with attack. She pairs super famously with Candrafon, who is a high resistance attack scaling damage dealer that can really crank it out in pairing with Duchess and the Veil and all that. So she can really help bring out some utility of your damage dealers in compositions where otherwise they would maybe get nuked down and wouldn't be able to get some of that value. Then for the A3, we've got revive all dead allies to 70% HP. That's a pretty good revive. Then we've got place a veil buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn. Place a 15% continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. So Duchess really doing it all here. You can see she places shield. She's got a multi-hit A1. She increases attack. She blocks debuffs. She places veil. She does revive. She's got heals. And then she's also got the passive that decreases damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 25%. AoE attacks are very common in the arena, and your whole team's going to take 25% damage reduction, and that's just a permanent guaranteed value passive, a really insane passive. But of course, that's not enough. We got to get to the aura here, which is increase ally speed in all battles by 19%. So not only the great base stats, the amazing kit that has a ton of utility in so many different ways, then we also get an all battle speed aura for all allies. So Duchess really does it all and is an absolutely amazing champion that can be used in many different ways. But now let's head over to the Duchess that I've got built on my account, and we will talk about the total stats, the gearing, the masteries, and the booking process for Duchess. Okay, so here is my Duchess, and if you're curious, I will pull up the total stats in case you want to compare it to a build you are doing maybe. We've got 77k HP, attack is completely irrelevant, 3688 defense, 235 speed, 58 crit rate, 98% crit damage, and then debuff resistance. You can see here, very important to stack resistance on Duchess. She's got that base of 50, making her super sturdy, and we want her to be extremely sturdy and not get debuffed because she is our reviver, and we want her to stay alive. As long as she's alive in the fight, we've got a chance. So she's typically built with really high resistance, and she does not need accuracy for anything that she does. So really a good opportunity for a character that makes sense to pump up the resistance as high as possible, which leads us in to why the banner is going to be resistance optimally on her. And then we're obviously looking for our best blend of HP and defense. I like to scale it a little bit towards the HP side because she's going to get a lot more value out of that A1. Remember, she places the shield on both herself and the ally with the lowest HP based off of her HP. So pretty good idea to get her a good blend of defense and HP. Amulet, you're going to want your best defense or HP amulet that has some resistance on it. So you can see here, ideally I would get a double or triple roll on this amulet. That's an opportunity to grow my Duchess a little bit. Ring, again, you're the most amount of HP and defense that you can get out of the ring. Then for the boots, I like to put her in speed boots. There's probably some builds out there where you make her just a tank and give her defense percent or HP percent boots. I could see where that would make sense in some teams. I like to go with speed, especially because I use her in the Doom Tower. She is like double S tier in the Doom Tower. So I like to go high speed for the upper tiers of those hard levels where Duchess can make a little bit more sense. The chest, I went with resistance. Remember, you really want to stack a bunch of resistance on her. So you can go HP, defense, or resistance. Depending on the build and situation, all three of those can kind of make sense. And then on the gloves, you're probably going to want to go HP typically. But if you have amazing defense gloves, that would make sense as well. The top ones, we're going to look for our best blend, shading towards HP probably, and then defense, resistance, and speed. Pretty typical stuff based off of what you saw on the bottom. But there is the helm and the weapon, just in case you were curious. So if you notice the actual sets here, I've got the double immortal and then 2 pieces of a broken set. Now, obviously, accuracy I don't want on her for the gloves. I would ideally get speed gloves or resistance gloves or something like that, or even go 6-piece immortal or something. But this was the best blend of stats I could get, so I had to do a broken set on those 2 pieces. So a little bit unfortunate there, and an opportunity for me to grow my gear a little bit as I keep farming. But I didn't want you to think that was intentional or anything. There's no strategy there. It's just that was the best way for me to take advantage of some sets because I don't have the type of gear that would fit in on those 2 slots and make sense for her. It would be great to get, like I said, immortal, resistance set, something that would really pump up those stats, and I will keep working on that as we're farming gear. Just wanted to make note of that. And then let's go over the booking process. Now, one cool thing about Duchess, as you will see in the infographic up towards the top left, is she only takes 8 books. Now, this should be the standard. Legendary champions should take like 5 to 10 books because legendary books are so tough to come by. But the cool thing about Duchess is she only takes 8. She's not one of these Pixneals that take 18. You can see the A1 is 5, +1 is 6, and then +2 is 8, and then there's nothing here on the passive. So a very reasonable champion book-wise, and if you've got a Duchess, there is nothing wrong with booking her. She is definitely worth 8 legendary books, but if you're trying to save books, you are absolutely going to want to book her A2. You want to at least spend books until you get that. And then if you want to stop there, go ahead because it's only her A1 to get more shields. And then the revive cooldowns are typically less impactful than the A2 here. But she's definitely worth the books, so don't feel bad about spending them. And then for the Masteries. Okay, so remember these are in that graphic that you will see down in the pinned comment. So if you want to be able to pull that up and build it or something, there is that. But so Duchess, okay, if you're going to be using her in like a clan boss or something, you may want to go like offense tree and get War Master instead of the support tree or something. This is for like the way I set up her Masteries for the arena because that's why I went with the Unshakable to get as much resistance as I can on her because I want her to be super sturdy. So keep that in mind when you are looking over these Masteries, as this is really built as an arena focused build. And if you're using her in the clan boss or something, you may want to rethink and go for War Master or something. And now as we transition to showing Duchess in action, I do want to quickly mention that Duchess is one of the best champions in the game for a new player to have, because like I said when I was talking about her kit, she does everything, and she has revive. So the speed aura in all battles, that helps new players. The consistent shielding on the A1, reviving is amazing for progressing through content for new players. And she even does Veil, increase attack, and block debuffs, which is huge. She can absolutely carry a new account in the arena, and she can help you get to dungeon tiers that you would no way be able to if you did not have her. But I want to show her in the arena because I think that is where she really shines as a champion. You can really do some fun things for her when you get to the end game. So I'm going to try to find some tougher matches here and see. Okay, so here's kind of a nuke strategy team. And I just want to show you what a defensive style team is going to look like with a Duchess. So this is going to be a high resistance team. I'm using the Lydia to get 100 more resistance, and the Mountain King to place a bunch of shields because of his HP to help me sustain, go second, and once I survive what they have done, I'm going to be off the races. Thalia will remove everything and lower the turn meter, and then Duchess is going to do her thing, buff me up. Lydia does her thing. And if they don't kill me in the first turn, they're probably going to lose. Once we get the Duchess and everything's kind of snowballing, I'm more equipped to play a defensive style than they were. And their champions actually had some pretty good accuracy. They were landing some debuffs there despite the Lydia aura of 100. And my Duchess has a base resistance of 524. My Mountain King is also very resistant, sturdy as well, especially with that Lydia aura, like I said. So they did land some things, but like I said, that shield from Mountain King really helps you sustain the fight. So Duchess can really be a great defense champion. She's someone that people don't want to go against when they see her in a defense. They're going to try to like avoid that. And she can also help you do a lot of fun things in non-speed teams. So here's a Hegemon that'll go first, and my Duchess will probably resist it. Yeah, you can see there, Duchess did not get debuffed, but the Thalia and the Lydia, since they have to get accuracy, I can't get their resistance as high. But luckily, Duchess is going to help us in any sort of a long fight. Duchess just gets so much value over the course of time that she'll be able to help me kind of snowball things once I get rolling and once we kind of sustain that initial wave. Yep, and there we go. And I haven't even been targeting. Like, it would be best to target the Syl so they can't revive or anything, but Lydia will block it anyway and then go ahead and do her thing, so it doesn't really matter if you focus the reviver. This is a really good example of a defense team that would be just an absolute pain to go against in like tag team arena or something. So it's just kind of a slow squeeze, and I've always been a fan of those kind of like lazy teams where you don't have to worry about the speed meta. You just put together a sturdy team and let it ride. Now let's get Duchess graded in the different areas of the game here. Clan Boss, so she can be pretty good in the Clan Boss. Remember, she's got that block debuffs for 2 turns, so she can be a stun block. She's got the shielding, the reviving, the speed aura. So yeah, I mean, she's not like the best champion in the game, but she would make sense for a lot of teams. Definitely arena is kind of her expertise, so I would definitely give her a 5 on offense and defense. And gosh, she might be a 5 in everything, which is super rare. Dragon's Lair, I mean, she's such a great support, especially for progression. For campaign, so she's not a very good XP farmer. Her animations are super slow. Her A1 is like, you're not going to use her as a farmer, really. She's super slow, and she will actually make your runs kind of slow. She's not a speed queen for like chewing through content as fast as possible, but in terms of 3-starring content, she'd be very, very good for like somebody progressing in the game. So I'll give her a 4 there. Spider, yeah, she can like block the poisons, bring the speed, place some shields. So yeah, she's a 5. She makes sense for a lot of teams. Minnow, 5, great. Ice Golem, definitely a 5. Revive, and yeah, so she brings a lot to the table there. Fire Knight, yep, also a 5, the multi-hitter for the A1, and obviously lots of utility. Force, yep, she's going to be great in these. Now, in Spirit and Magic, she doesn't bring, like, she doesn't, like, strip buffs or anything, but she's still really good. She'd be, like, a 4.5. I mean, I'll give her a 5. We'll round up. She's like a 4.5 on those, but okay. And then Void, definitely a 5. That because she blocks the poisons and stuff. So there we go. And then Faction Wars, she is just an amazing demon spawn faction carry. So definitely a 5 on there. So yeah, basically a 5 in every single category of the game. So now let's pull up the infographic and kind of wrap things up here and just have a quick discussion about Duchess in conclusion. So I think they nailed it on designing Duchess. She is very good for helping new players progress, which is legendaries should do. And then she's also got some areas of the game where she's super viable in dungeons, clan boss, arena. So yeah, an amazing champion to have on your account. Really good in the early game or the end game. She's really cool aesthetically, has a cool kit, great base stats. So definitely one of the better supports and definitely most versatile supports in the game because good in so many different areas. So sorry this video took a while. I did summon her a couple months ago, got super lucky and was able to get her. And I was looking for her for a while. She was one of those non-void champions that I really had my eye on that I hadn't had yet. So meant to get the video out sooner and just kind of fell through the cracks and wanted to get that done right now because she is a really fun champion to do content on. So that's going to do it. Let me know what you think down in the comments about Duchess. Always enjoy hearing your opinions as well. And that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.